The air was scorching hot, sky polluted, and the lights of the city were blaring with zero abandon. Usually this was normal in hell. After all, it was hell for a reason. Many sinners who couldn't get used to this would work in places with air conditioning or try to reach an underground area called the cold storage, where moist, moldy coolness reigned supreme, as well as aquatic demons. The demons used to this, however, could spend countless hours outside, allowing them to get more things done and become more powerful. As such, it was actually quite frowned upon to openly admit that the hell weather was terrible and annoying to endure. Among these demons, who refused to publicly admit it, was none other than the TV demon Vox. He made absolutely sure to limit his time out of the D Tower to an absolute minimum. There were only two demons who knew a secret. Velvet, who was needed to set up his time plans, specifically to avoid being outside for too long, as well as a very special demoness, knowing about it, who was secretly one of the most important beings for his personal wellness and happiness. It was a stressful day. There were 4 appointments, 2 meetings, and a total of 5 times he had to leave the studio for specific errands to upkeep the various contracts he upheld with different demons. His hands nervously played with the dials on his screen, like a fidget toy, changing the saturation and contrast on not only his face, but also the things he was seeing. Like a built-in LSD trip without the NC side effects. While his other hand was slowly typing letters into his smartphone. "Voxy, baby!" shouted a male voice as the demon it belonged to kicked open the TV demon's door. Vox didn't respond, his eyes only darting towards Valentino. The moth pimp was grinning. He had seen how the TV demon had been suffering all day, and after having his fun watching him suffer, it was finally time. "Voxy, I'm concerned you're overworking yourself." Smirking, the moth slowly walked through Vox's office. A dapper little place. A collection of golden records and framed movie advertisements, as well as various display shelves containing rare alcohol bottles, lined the wall. Casually, the pimp opened one of the containers, gently taking out one of the bottles. "You aren't even telling us as to why you're so anxious. Just a few weeks ago, a day like today, that would have made you happy." While holding the bottle in his upper left and a cigarette in his upper right, Valentino crossed his lower arms. "It's the Alistair thing, isn't it, baby?" This caused the bottle in the pimp's hand to explode suddenly. "Oh, baby, the good booze! Plus, it's all over my coat." "Don't." "Huh?" "Don't say his name." Vox jumped up, pointing at him with a threatening shiver. "Or I cut your tongue out!" But Valentino just hugged himself. That passion, Voxy. You really know how to talk to me." After taking a drag of a cigarette, he puffed some pink smoke up onto the ceiling, which was quickly dispersed by the quickly spinning ceiling fan. "Fine, Voxy, have it your way," moaned Valentino after a long pause. "I call her." "No." "Pardon?" Vox scoffed and looked away. I don't like it when she screws around my brain." Val chuckled. "And here I thought you loved her." Vox's face turned blood red. "Get out." Sure. Just let me take this. With a quick, smug bow, he sneakily grabbed another bottle, only for Vox to shout, "Put that back!" just as he was about to close the door. You were leaning against your kitchen counter inside your home, fingers playing with a small red puddle on the clean marble. Your fingertips ending in long claws with holes at their tips, through which you could consume liquids. It was quite convenient. You could talk while enjoying a drink with the girls, by just putting a finger into the glass. But above all, you love blood. The taste, the smell, the sense of mortality, its warmth, its pleasant thickness. Your claws swirled through the liquid, slowly slurping it up. It belonged to one of your clients, a very important one at that. An addict of lemon candy. The treat was created within the bowels of candy demons. Tall, lanky, sinner-born demons with arms so long they dragged their hands on the ground behind themselves, with burlap sack-like skin making them look like oversized voodoo dolls. The stomachs were unable to fully digest food, making it a nasty, slimy glob in their stomachs. The glob was often considered a delicacy, as the candy demon's stomach sludge was a quite good relaxant, and to enhance it, they would take all different kinds of drugs, as well as tasty fruits, to make the resulting glob especially delicious. The glob, chopped up into bite sizes, would then be wrapped and sold by dealers. But what no one but a few knew was that their blood is wonderfully potent as well. That's why the overlords in charge of taking care of candy demons were at a constant war with vampire demon gangs. But someone of your vocation, well, you could get access to this delicious nectar. You were a mosquito demon, and a beautiful one at that. You had a wonderful slender body, black chitin covering your forearms and lower legs that slowly turned into beautiful, perfectly groomed white skin. You had a little mole above your upper lip and short white hair, just barely able to reach your shoulders. And you had just the most beautiful red lips and eyes. Under your wrists, you had little sacks in which you could store any liquid you consumed with your fingers, either to drink it on demand or to share with others. You had a similar sack inside your chest, just beneath your stomach, that made you look 8 months pregnant at full volume. You looked at the red glowing membranes beneath your arms as you slurped up every drop of blood. It was just then that you received a call. Gracefully you spun around, taking your phone off the wall charger. "Hello," you hummed seductively. "Dusky baby!" "Oh well," you smirked, flashing your sharp teeth with delight at no one. "What brings me the honor?" "It's Voxy." "Ah!" Valentino produced an exasperated groan. You could practically hear him make a dramatic pose at the phone with the back of his hand gently pressed against his forehead, with an even more dramatic "ugh." Oh wait, he did make an "ugh," did he? "Aw, what's wrong with old Voxy?" You purred. "He's just such a drag ever since the old radio demon came back. I think he's secretly yearning for your touch, Dusky. Oh, please take care of him before I lose beauty sleep on worrying about him." You snickered. Oh, Val, sweetie, we both know you don't need beauty naps. You heard how Valentino smugly scratched over his fur coat. Blush, he purred. You know, if you aren't too worn out after helping Voxy, you can come and give me a little suck too. He purred seductively, licking his lips audibly, heart pounding. Oh. You know my prices, sweetheart. Valentino laughed. There weren't many people he allowed to talk to him like this, but you indulged him just enough for Valentino to actually enjoy it when you sassed him back. He hummed, smiling. Very well, baby. Come to the studio. After hanging up, you walked into your bedroom, searching for your dresser for just the right, titillating outfit for Vox. He was a huge fan of your "I will sleep with you on the first date, but I'm very picky with my guys" look. Before leaving, mosquito demons such as yourself were rare. Specifically, rare because they usually didn't survive the first extermination. As such, there weren't that many of your kind alive. But you just so happened to be just attractive enough to have gotten the attention of the V's. As such, your services were greatly appreciated, and they gave you a certain amount of freedoms, luxuries, and most importantly, protection. Of course, you knew the moment a different mosquito demon with the same service and a cheaper price would appear, you'd be dropped like a hot potato. After all, Valentino wasn't the type to stay loyal to one woman for long. Or a man, for that matter. And Vox, well, he was a penny pincher. And so you took great care in quite literally and figuratively bleeding them dry. You entered the V-Tower with the confidence of someone who screamed, "Yeah, I'm fucking your boss for benefits and there's nothing you can do about it." Walking straight past the tower's reception desk into the elevator. Typing into its security panel the password for Vox's penthouse. Ugh. And what a beautiful penthouse it was. Sure, it was just 4 rooms, which was surprisingly modest for him. The floor was carpeted in a dark blue, white leather furniture surrounding a polished obsidian coffee table. Large bar with a selection of drinks you never heard of. A door to a private bathroom, one private office that also functioned as a bedroom, and on the lower floor of the penthouse was an entire floor dedicated to a mini spa, with massage bench, sauna, and crystal clear pool water. He certainly knew how to live, and you'd suck his dick daily if he'd let you live here, but alas, it wasn't good for his image to have a preferred girl at his place. Oh well, he was still a good customer, and allowed you to live the way you did, even if it was a little lonely sometimes. You helped yourself to 2 glasses and a bottle of pre-mixed strawberry mojito, knowing that as long as you stayed below $50 when it came to your taking his drinks without asking, he wouldn't shout at you. You sat down on the sofa, placed the 2 glasses next to each other, and filled one of them. You smacked your lips. The drink was simply to die for. Fizzy, minty, and slightly sweet. You would turn on Vox's TV, but if he became too comfortable, he'd get a little aggressive later, which would cause his blood to taste bitter. you needed him to be relatively calm. It was 10 minutes of waiting when you finally saw Vox leave his office, mumbling to himself. His suit was opened up, tie loosely hanging from his neck. Even his top hat hung a little crooked. At first he didn't notice you. He seemed to be looking for the TV remote. It was then you made your presence known. "Looking for this, Voxy?" He stopped moving entirely for a moment. Not a single muscle twitched or spasmed. He was thinking, considering whether or not to kick you out or let you stay. "Dusk. Come on. I told Val not to call you. I've better things to worry about. I can't afford a break." That radio demon thing was really weighing him down. You almost felt bad for him, which was surprising to you. Well, perhaps the fact you interacted with the V's so much made you actually give a rat's ass about them. You kinda wanted to explore that feeling, but at the same time, you didn't. "I have to plan the next 4 months of programming. I don't have time." You stood up, suppressing a sigh. You knew you would not be compensated for your time. But just then, a loud ding came from the elevator. Through it, like the diva he was, came none other than Valentino. "Voxy Dusking!" He spread his upper arms out invitingly. "How's it going?" "Well, Party pooper Vox wanted to kick me out just now." Your gaze returned to Vox, whose face turned violently red. How dare you talk over him? Somehow, he felt as if this disrespect was connected to Alistair, even though, in all honesty, you didn't even listen to the broadcast. When Vox and the Radio Demon had their little cuffle a few weeks ago, you were sleeping. Part of being a mosquito was that you were tired during the day, while active and energetic during the night. "Oh, no. We can't have that, Voxy baby. I invited her so you could relax." Valentino walked over to Vox's bar. Just like you did a moment ago, he helped himself to a drink. "Can you two please stop raiding my shelves?" Valentino clicked his tongue. "Oh, Dusky, baby, that mojito is cheap crap. You gotta try this one. It's great." He was holding some kind of brandy in a beautiful round bottle. Val sat down next to you, taking a mojito glass out of your hand and just pouring the liquid out on Vox's floor as if the TV demon wasn't right there. He then filled it halfway with the brandy. Meanwhile, your eyes darted to Vox. "You two aren't going to leave, are you?" he hissed. "Since when are you such a quick thinker, Voxy?" "Shouldn't you be filming a movie?" Valentino chuckled darkly as he filled his own glass with brandy. "Yeah, well, baby, a movie called Vomit Dolls 3, this time it's chunky, should not take all day." It really didn't. Blinking, you shoved a few inches away from Valentino without him noticing. "You're disgusting." "I only deliver what people ask for. Profit is profit." And actually, Valentino leaned against your shoulder. "That's another reason I called Dusky over as a little palate cleanser for moi." That's literal, isn't it? You asked cautiously. And Val gave you a look that said more than 1,000 words, making you shiver uncomfortably. Meanwhile, Vox sat down on the couch in front of the both of you. You're still more interested in having this be done quick so he could get back to work. Gosh, you weren't even an overlord. Despite your unique service, you had no gang. Your soul wasn't written off to anyone. You just were lucky. He hated lucky people. And of course, he hated that he liked you. Probably more than anyone. Val, of course, was after your body. And sure he was too, but he also liked your persistence. The fact that you always managed to get under his skin, both figuratively and literally. Vox's eyes narrowed suddenly. Well, I suppose I won't get rid of either of you tonight, won't I? Valentino's claws dug into your shoulder as he pulled you into him, your heads bumping together. Oh, what made you think that, Voxy baby? Almost like you had a sixth sense. You grinned a toothy grin. The TV demon had the power, the influence, and the ability to kick both Valentino and you out. But he didn't. Val knew that, you knew that. And yet he still didn't. His body telling him that he needed this. No, that he deserved this. Sighing, Vox leaned back, hands folded behind his TV head as he stared at you and Val. You two started drinking. And eventually, Vox smirked, a devilish idea coming to him. After a moment of silence that was almost awkward, he took the empty third glass, filled it with his brandy, leaned back, and smirked, taking a sip. And then, "Kiss him," he demanded. You shook in surprise. Huh? The hand holding his glass pointed at you, and then Val. You too. Kiss. Now. Oh, I don't mind, Dusky baby, mused Valentino. Your eyes narrowed, but you weren't looking at Val, whose greedy hands already took hold of your face. You knew exactly what Vox was trying here. And after a moment of silence, as well as feeling Valentino pull at your head without you budging, you lunged to your side, throwing Val on his back, your lips pressed against his. Smirking, Vox leaned forward, watching as he saw the outline of Valentino's tongue on your cheek. The moth demon's claws dug through the back of your head, tugging and pulling at your hair, causing sudden, pleasurable shocks coursing through you. You hummed as lewd noises came from your fused lips. Closing your eyes, Valentino was a great kisser, his long, sleek tongue skillfully reaching every nook and cranny behind your lips, like it was marking his territory like a greedy animal. His lower arms reached for the midriff-free shirt you were wearing, reaching beneath the cloth and cupping your chest, his thumbs brushing over them, making you whine and delight. And that's when Vox stood up, slowly walked over to where you and Val were making out, groping each other. And then his clawed hand grabbed a fistful of your hair. With one harsh pull, you popped off Valentino's mouth, a fountain of thick, delicious salvia dripping onto the moth demon's face, who stared up at you and Vox. The TV demon was now taking over, his lips pushing on yours. Yet he kept his tongue where it belonged. It wasn't a long kiss either, he just wanted to see Val's reaction. A second later you separated, and without a word, he began dragging you towards the stairs leading to his mini spa below. Though neither you nor Vox saw that, in fact, Valentino's expression wasn't one of befuddledness or disappointment. No, He was grinning from ear to ear. Quickly he pulled out his secondary phone. A little flip phone, practically an ancient relic. It was his private little treasure. Not even Vox could pick up on its existence due to its age. He dialed Velvet's number, licking his lips. "Velvy, baby, I have a little mission for you. I want you to turn on Spa Camera 327 and record everything. Got it?" "Ugh, tell me why, or I swear to God I won't do it," she barked back. And Valentino smiled. Beneath the moth pimp's feet, inside of Vox's private little oasis of wellness, he had thrown you on a deck chair he usually used for towels. Behind you bubbled his pool. The TV demon was all over, slobbering wet kisses over your face and body, and invading your throat with his heavy tongue. It was delicious. He then retreated his head, his knees straddling your hips. You ripped open the buttons on his shirt. 2 of them flying off as you did, but he didn't care. He had enough suits. Once his quivering, sleek, grey skin was exposed to the cool, moist air, he bit his lower lip. Your claws rubbed over his chest until they reached his hips. He bit his lower lip, inhaling, his TV face turning into static for a split second as he felt your fingers push beneath his skin. He moaned. "Ah, shit!" Pulling him closer into a tight embrace, his groin grinding against you as you started sucking his blood through your fingers like straws. Usually you prefer to suck from the shoulders during a sensual massage. This was the first time for you that you started with the lewd part first. It made this experience way hotter, and his blood tasted unbelievably delicious because of that. Your jaw twitched, and disregarding everything, you slammed your sharp teeth into his left shoulder, causing him to lewdly gasp. They tore and ground until breaking skin, despite sucking through every available means to you. You were slow, and he could feel that. Not that he minded. The magic touch felt like all the stress was being drained from him. A beautiful, wonderful numbness. A release of pressure. Meanwhile, descending the stairs, like he owned the place, came Valentino. He was only dressed in a very beautiful, decadent bathrobe. With his head thrown back and exhaling through his mouth, Vox stared at him. "We're kinda busy here," he groaned. He was starting to get dizzy, but you were too deeply inside him. You couldn't stop. His body flowed like a river as Valentino's body flowed like a river as he leaned down to your head. Without hesitation, he bit his own tongue, allowing for a thin line of blood to come past his lips. Using a finger, he swiped off some of it. Your eyes stared at his finger, his blood hanging from it like a droplet. He whispered, "Dusky, baby, you're quite the gritty girl, ain't ya?" He smirked. And it was to die for. It made you feel so incredibly hot. Hotter than the blood flowing through your veins. Let's see how much we can both fit inside you. The moth demon narrowed his eyes, both figuratively and literally. Hey, thank you for watching my video until the very end. I'm very grateful for that, and I would like to ask you to please share the video around on social media so more people can see it. And that's it really. But before we say goodbye, I would like to say thank you to all of my lovely channel members who so lovingly support me. We have Giovanni Moriarty, Twilight Mia, Zoe, Angel, Angry Boxman, Hella, BitBit, Melofia, Anonymous Weep, Zachary, Nicodemus D, and Valerie Weeds. Thank you for being wonderful darling stewards, and of course, let's not forget all of my other lovely darlings who support me. Thank you for your support. It is greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.